you want to just talk about the pieces or your process or even what you were doing that day when you were doing them, whatever you like.
Okay, so this is my Reed Lake water lilies, and it was done au plein air, which means that I was sitting outside at the dock, and at a certain point in the summer season, you get these lovely yellow flowers, but they don't stay for very long. So I quickly went out when I saw all of them and sat at the dock for maybe 3 hours, freezing cold, and it was a Sunday, and I just love this one because it's so relaxed and so much a watercolor, and yeah, this is one of my favorite paintings, and it's probably early July when the water lilies come out. This painting is a large watercolor that took over 2 days, and again I stood outside with my easel, and you can see it is a jack pine, but the jack pine has indications of a drought because many of the needles have turned orange. And that is something that I have noticed over the last few years in the north because of ever since we had the fire. So for me, this is a really important piece because it records something historical, but it also is a very beautiful painting. I really love this area here, which almost indicates fire because of the reds, but it's just the reflection and the intensity of this painting is, well, I think it's one of my better pieces. I like that I've caught a little bit of light on the rough bark of the jack pine and just the tangling of branches. So yes, this is a really beautiful piece, and it was over 2 days that I painted it outside with my watercolor. So yeah, this is a gorgeous piece, and that's Pickerel Lake in the distance. Painted from C15 overlooking Reed Lake again, and it's the year after we had the fire on the other side. So I tried to actually capture all those lovely gray tree stumps that were left from the fire, just so you see the contrast between the green and the gray. I'd been there the year before when it was all green, and it was quite a shock to see what had happened. And I was there just when the fire started and we had to leave the campsite. So when I came back, I was kind of stunned, and I tried to capture that in this. And it was also painted over a 2-day period. I actually rented the site for 2 days. I wasn't camping there, but I wanted to make sure I captured it. And yeah, I think I did a really marvelous job. It's also a plein air outdoor painting. Starting to get a little bit greener at Reed, but this is like a historical record too for me and for others. Yeah. Here was done after we had been out at Pontoon picnicking and the sun was starting to set. And I love it because I'm starting to work bigger and I can get that beautiful sky in behind and the snow on Pontoon Lake, and then of course the snow in the foreground. So this one has a kind of a geometry to it. It's really, really lovely to look at, and it's very peaceful. And this one here, I drove, I think it was about 4 hours to Wat-Tee, and it was kind of a gray day, but at the end of the day, when I finally got there, this gorgeous sunset happened across from the Wat-Tee Lake, and it picked up in different spots where the ice hadn't formed, the reflection of the light, and I just love that. And then I just love my foreground and all the detail in the trees. So yeah, that's my Wat-Tee painting. And this one here, which again, I'm moving to a larger format. I think it's 3 feet by 16 inches, and it's called Trees Talking. So it's just kind of a lyrical, flowing indication of what the branches are like, and it's at dusk, so the sun was going down, and it's very intense, and I love the roots, the way they form. And it's probably a jack pine, but it could be a spruce. I don't even know. It's more abstract, and I truly love this with this blue snow and blue blending into the sky. So yeah, this is a very beautiful piece. And it has a companion over here, which is also 3 feet by a little, I think 15 inches wide. And you've got your tamarack, which is in the winter time, they're almost nude. Well, they're nude. And next to this heavily burdened jack pines with the snow just filling all the branches at a certain point when the snow's just fallen. And I saw this image down in Old Town, and that was the sky again, beautiful winter skies. And I tried to capture the cold and the snow, and you know how a tamarack just sheds all its needles in the winter.